Arnold Schwarzenegger's appearance on The View started with high energy as the audience erupted in cheers at the sight of the former governor of California and action movie icon. Co-hosts Sunny Hostin and Sarah N. greeted him warmly, reminiscing about his film career, his time as governor, and his recent environmental advocacy. Joy Behar, however, sat quietly, arms crossed, a half-smile on her face, as she watched the pleasantries unfold. When Arnold mentioned his recent documentary about climate change and responsibility, Joy chimed in with a sharp comment. "It's rich coming from someone who used to cruise around in a fleet of Hummers." Arnold laughed at first, brushing it off. "That was the past, Joy. I've evolved. Now I drive electric and advocate for real change." But Joy pressed on, clearly not ready to let him off so easily. "It's hard to take it seriously when people like you cause the damage first and then want applause for cleaning it up." Arnold's smile began to fade. Arnold tried to stay calm, offering context. "Everyone grows. The important thing is what you do once you understand the consequences. I've put millions into sustainability." Joy leaned forward. "But isn't that the pattern with celebrities? Create chaos, then pay to fix it, and expect to be celebrated as heroes?" The tension began to creep across the panel as co-hosts exchanged nervous glances. Sunny attempted to steer the conversation toward Arnold's efforts in fitness education, but Joy wasn't done. "What about your past political stances?" she asked, pulling out a quote from his gubernatorial years about immigration that sparked controversy. Arnold's brow furrowed. "I've been open about rethinking a lot of my positions. I'm not the same man I was 20 years ago." Joy shot back, "You're still the same guy who once called Democrats girly men." That was the moment the mood shifted completely. Arnold leaned forward, eyes locked with hers, voice lower now. "That was a joke, one that's been twisted for years. And frankly, Joy, you've made a career twisting things." The air in the studio became thick with discomfort. Arnold continued, now visibly annoyed. "I've taken responsibility for my past. But when someone brings up things from decades ago and ignores everything since, that's not journalism, it's petty." Joy didn't flinch. "Oh, come on. You've been in power in Hollywood and politics. People have the right to hold you accountable, especially when you're treated like a saint now." Arnold shook his head. "I'm not asking to be treated like anything. I'm showing up too. Have an honest conversation. But it seems like you came ready to pick a fight." The other hosts tried jumping in again, suggesting they pivot to Arnold's childhood or his recent book tour, but Joy kept going. "Isn't it fair to question someone's transformation when it's so conveniently timed with their career shifts?" Arnold turned to the audience. "This is what happens when someone refuses to believe people can change. It's a sad worldview." Joy crossed her arms and leaned back. "What's sad is pretending everything's okay because someone has good PR." Arnold's temper, usually tightly controlled, was now clearly fraying.
"Ow.
You don't know anything about my life, Joy. You sit here and toss barbs from a desk while people out there are trying to actually make a difference." Joy raised an eyebrow. "So now, I'm just a talking head. Funny, I've been on this show while you were still trying to govern California into the ground." The audience gasped audibly at that jab. Arnold leaned in, almost whispering but with intensity. "That's below the belt. I came here with respect. You clearly didn't." Joy, now visibly irritated, replied, "You came here with a message. To sell, not to be challenged." Arnold stood up, looking around the set. "If this is your idea of conversation, then maybe I'm in the wrong place." Sarah N. stood too, trying to de-escalate.
Please, let's just cool it."
This doesn't have to blow up, but the damage was done. Arnold was already half out of his seat, adjusting his mic. "I don't do well with shows that confuse accountability with ambush." Joy laughed sarcastically. "Right, because you're used to people nodding while you talk?" Arnold froze and stared at her for a moment before replying. "And you're used to interrupting anyone who doesn't agree with you," Sunny quickly said. Okay, we need to take a break." And producers began gesturing from behind the cameras. Arnold turned toward the audience. "I'll leave you with this. People can change. I did. But if we don't let anyone grow, what's the point of having these conversations?" The crowd clapped half-heartedly, unsure if they were applauding insight or ending drama. With that, Arnold turned and walked off stage, leaving a visibly rattled panel behind. Joy muttered under her breath, "Thin skin for a tough guy." The cameras went to commercial. The incident instantly became a trending topic online. Clips of the clash went viral on every platform, with fans and critics dissecting every word. Some viewers sided with Arnold, saying he showed admirable restraint and delivered a powerful message about growth. Others defended Joy, arguing that tough questions are necessary, and that Arnold didn't like being held accountable. Headlines ranged from "Arnold meltdown on The View" to "Joy Behar pushes too far." Meanwhile, the official View Twitter account released a carefully worded statement. "Today's discussion with Arnold Schwarzenegger got unexpectedly intense. We support honest dialogue and respect all of our guests." But behind the scenes, reports suggested that producers were shocked by how fast things escalated. One source said Joy had warned the staff she intended to hold his feet to the fire. Arnold's reps, meanwhile, expressed disappointment and claimed the show had assured him it would be a light promotional appearance. The fallout extended to Arnold's ongoing book tour, with reporters asking him about the incident at every stop. "It's unfortunate," he said in one interview. "I came there with good intentions, but some people don't want a discussion, they want a spectacle." When asked if he'd return to The View, he replied, "Not likely." Joy addressed the controversy the next day, beginning the show by saying, "I ask tough questions. That's what I do. If guests can't handle that, maybe they're in the wrong business." That remark reignited the backlash, with critics saying Joy's tone was dismissive and inflammatory. Social media exploded again, this time with fans of Arnold creating a campaign called "Let Arnold Grow." Several celebrities, including longtime friends of Arnold, spoke out in his defense. "We've all said dumb things in the past," one actor tweeted. "Arnold's walked the walk for years now. Time to let the guy speak without a firing squad." Meanwhile, The View experienced a surge in ratings, but also in criticism. Many viewers wrote in calling for more balanced and less confrontational interviews. The producers reportedly considered internal changes, including reevaluating how topics are framed before guests appear. An executive producer was quoted anonymously saying, "The line between tough journalism and aggressive ambush is thinner than ever." On his podcast, Arnold took time to speak more freely about the moment. "I've faced tougher opponents in life," he joked, "but that level of personal attack on live television was unnecessary. We need to focus more on ideas and less on old grudges." Fans praised his remarks for being mature and composed, while others thought he was downplaying the heat he took. Either way, the episode created a massive cultural ripple, reigniting debates about public accountability, forgiveness, and the nature of daytime television itself in an unexpected twist. Barbara Walters' archived interviews began recirculating, with fans comparing her classic style to Joy's modern edge. Critics contrasted Walters' poise with Behar's confrontational approach. Media outlets began framing the incident as emblematic of a broader shift in talk show culture from conversational to combative. Arnold continued promoting his book, mostly steering clear of the clash unless directly asked. In a town hall appearance, he said, "If we keep punishing people for evolving, we'll stop people from wanting to evolve. And that's dangerous." That line received a standing ovation. Joy, for her part, refused to apologize. In an off-the-cuff comment to paparazzi, she said, "If Arnold can't take a little heat, maybe he should stick to the gym." The remark fueled another round of media frenzy, reinforcing the rift between them. Still, some speculated it was all a calculated media moment. Weeks later, the buzz began to subside, but the moment had left a lasting mark. The clash between Arnold and Joy wasn't just another awkward guest moment, it had become a symbol of something larger. Viewers questioned whether civil discourse was even possible on platforms designed more for shock than substance. Some argued Joy had gone too far, others claimed Arnold overreacted. But the consensus was clear. The episode exposed the raw nerves beneath celebrity culture and political division. As The View moved on, viewers noticed a more careful tone in its discussions. Still sharp, but slightly more tempered. Arnold, meanwhile, used the experience to highlight in his book how media has changed. In the end, their explosive exchange wasn't just about past mistakes or political beliefs. It was about the struggle between evolution and condemnation, dialogue and drama, spotlight and silence. And once again, America tuned in not for answers, but for the fallout.